raise, I will take it. It's fine.
For a 30% raise, you can do whatever you want with my pee.
I've been bottling it for years. You want some? Oh, well, that got on my face.
Look, we do not need to hear about pee on your face.
The beer, not the pee.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you know what? I need to put you guys. I have 2 screens.
Ah, living that double screen life.
Yeah, I found out my mining rig doesn't need a monitor, and actually does better when it doesn't have one. So it's just kind of doing its shit in the back room right now by itself.
Mining machine goes brrr.
Yeah, hey, look, it's free money.
Ooh, and we're live.
Motherfucker. Yeah, we've been on countdown for a while.
Oh, we're on countdown. Okay.
No, we're live.
I was like, I'm over here like texting.
Are we?
Like,
We're live.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. We're on, yeah, I never put it back to the thing there. Hey! We're here. Here, wait. There you go. I did a countdown. Switched it to countdown for a second. Hey, welcome. I set up my notes, and I didn't put it back to countdown after I checked that our audio was good. Hey, we're here. Happy Tuesday. What's up? Welcome back to Delve Requisite here on Proficiency Bonus. We are joined this week by the Fool's Errand, as we had the High Seas adventure last week. But this week, we travel across the continent of Orahol, back to the area of the village of Diamond Vale, where the Fool's Errand are currently undertaking a task to try and acquire themselves a set of water-breathing potions in order that they might launch a rescue operation into one of Diamond Vale's mine shafts, which has experienced a flooding incident that has trapped several miners in a basically an air pocket, an unsubmerged portion of the mining complex behind a significant amount of flooded tunnel, which is preventing any type of rescue efforts from reaching those individuals. Using some clever sorcery, some reimagining of the Scooter the Celestial Weasel. We experienced Scooter the Celestial Octopus last time. There he is. Scooter the Celestial Octopus managed to traverse part of the collapsed tunnel and carry back and forth a little pouch with parchment and charcoal in it that was able to relay a message from the trapped miners that they were still alive, though one of them was injured. The town's hedge wizard shared with the group that he had been considering that the only option available to them that might be fast enough to be able to save the trapped individuals was to go and make a bargain with a local hermetic crone who lived out in the wilderness, just a few hours travel from the town, in order that she might provide them with some potions capable of letting them breathe underwater to go rescue the... Boy howdy, one note, sure has decided that tonight is the night for just a lot of notifications for no reason. They did travel to this location, and met with the crone, whose name is Granny Josephine. And Granny Josephine told them that she would happily make them water breathing potions. However, there was some specific ingredients that were required in order for her to brew such a mixture. Specifically, she required the blood of a creature known as a water naga. Conveniently enough, there happened to be a water naga that Granny Josephine knew of, not all that far from their current location. She instructed them to go to the location, a small sort of mountain stream-fed lake, lure the naga out, slay it, and bring back 2 pails of its blood. She gave them a bunch of beeswax and warned them to plug their ears lest they hear the naga's call and be ensorcelled by its power. She then kind of sent them on their way, and that is where we left off as they were preparing to make their journey several miles from the crone, from Granny Josephine's hut to this water naga, and attempt to obtain enough blood for her to create these potions. Before we jump directly into the action, let's take a moment to knock out a little bit of housekeeping business. Let's thank our sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle. You can type !CGC or !Little Dragon into chat during tonight's stream at any point, and you'll get a link to their websites. You can go and check them out. Thank you to both of them for sponsoring us. And if you do decide to buy dice or some awesome RPG products from Little Dragon Corp, you can use our code PROBONUS at checkout for a 10% discount on your order. So, thank you to both of them, and take it away, gentlemen.
Alright, so who has a pail? Did Granny...
She did.
I got it.
She provided you with
Okay,
pail.
she provided some pails? Cool. Alright, so we just gotta go in a general this way direction?
If you guys want to use the beeswax now, I'll do it last. Most enchantments don't work well on elves and those descended from elves. We're a little bit tougher to charm. Okay. Also, if I start acting funny, the 3 of you have a very good chance of beating the crap out of me.
Fair.
No argument here. Okay, so I guess Oz and I will. Nope, not gonna say that combination of words. I was gonna say moisten our earlobes, but that is not the.
Now I wish that I had not suggested that I not use the beeswax.
You said it anyway.
Until last.
Okay, all in favor of Walter going by himself, raise your hand.
All right. So, do you have any particular way that you are going to approach this this small mountain lake here, or are you just sort of heading right to it and trucking up to the shore to see what there is to be seen?
Do we have do we think we have the time for a stealth approach?
What?
Using minor illusion, Alar conjures the words, "Do you think we have the time for a stealth approach?" ?
I don't have time to read that. Alo, we're rush here.
conjures
Sorry,
the
I'm
word
used to yelling at
stealth
Walter for
question
bullshit.
mark right in front of Brom.
The situation probably does not require you to like rush. Like you want to get the miners out of that mine shaft, but like they've been in there for a few days now. Like they don't appear to be in, at least from the limited intel that you have, they don't appear to be in like imminent, could die any second type of danger. So taking an extra half an hour or whatever it might take to like quietly approach is not going to, you would not think that would be the difference between like possibly life and death for these trapped miners.
Okay.
Mechanics question. How mentally capable are we of being stealthy when we can't hear the noise we're making?
I would not say being deafened would cause you to have any like disadvantage or anything like that on your like a stealth roll. I think it's like, unless you decide that that's the case, I don't think that you. Well, I guess Brom has already decided that's the case. That he plugged his ears and has become cartoonishly loud.
I mean, when I have headphones on, I know that I'm a lot louder in person.
If you're still making attempts to like approach quietly and that's fine. Like you're not going to be.
Let's try a stealthy approach, I guess, and see if we can maybe see it when it's not paying attention. Maybe we don't have to like bait it out.
Okay. So you head. You follow the directions given to you by Granny Josephine, and you make your way a little ways up into some of the rocky the rocky foothills that you've sort of been traversing through. You follow several game trails to make your passage a little bit easier, a little bit smoother, until you reach the a small stream, a little like trickling stream of water that runs downhill from somewhere slightly higher up in elevation, which you know from the instructions that you were given to be the if you follow this back like to its source, it feeds out from the small lake that you're looking for. So you begin to kind of follow along this this small stream for a while, occasionally being forced to traverse over it via a fallen tree, fallen log, as one side or the other becomes a little bit difficult to pass with some of the rocky terrain or vegetation that is still fairly prominent at this elevation. You're not particularly high up. You're well out into the foothills of the Ujir Mountains at this point. So nothing is too tall that you're dealing with like snowy rocky peaks or anything like that. You get to a point where you can see up ahead the sort of like trees flanking either side of this small stream part, and you can see the opening that indicates the lake is just ahead. You're coming up a slight incline, so you can't quite see the lake itself yet, but you can see like beyond to the far side of the clearing that it creates, and you see that there's a sort of a steep, almost sheer rock face on the far side, out of which a fairly small waterfall, probably no more than like a few feet wide, just kind of a single sort of stream of water, feeds out between two of the rocks and descends down and seems to be what feeds this small lake up here. So at this point, if you guys are making any particular attempt to be stealthy, you can make stealth rolls. If you are like all staying together, if you're separating, like you can kind of narrate how you want to make your way closer to the banks of this body of water.
16.
Okay.
A 17.
Are you guys like just moving? You two are moving together, I imagine.
Yeah. As soon as we get in sight of the lake, Alar is gonna put a hand on Brom's shoulder and tell him, gesture for him to stop.
So we're gonna Scooby Doo it and just like single file sneaky.
Yeah, I guess.
Mine is a 20, not natural.
Okay. And
Alright,
Walter.
stealth check. Stealth.
I got a +3 to stealth.
I have a +6.
So I have a +2 to stealth, and so I rolled a 3 total.
In this context,
Total?
it does not make
I
any.
I may not have rolled a natural one.
It does not make any sense how a Goliath could be any quieter than you. I don't understand.
Well,
you are in
Walter's
two.
got really squeaky shoes on.
or he decided he was going to put his foot through a thicket of branches.
So you guys sneak up, Alar. You kind of begin to move quietly, sticking to the you try to stick to like the hard packed ground of a game trail where there's not much in the way of like leaf litter or debris on the ground that you might crunch your foot on. Brom, you kind of stick with Alar as you move closer, carefully picking your way through the terrain to head closer to this this body of water. Osrius, you're large, but you are a lifelong, well-versed outdoorsman. You know how to carry yourself in a situation like this where you are moving across the natural terrain, remaining silent. You don't get to be you don't get very far in Goliath society if you're too much of a bumbling mess that you startle game when you're hunting for your food for you and your clan. And then Walter appears to have opened a bag of chips behind you guys.
Bag of those crinkled sun chips bags.
Yeah, you turn around and he's like got his hand in a bag of chips. No, so Walter is unfortunately, and he's not like stomping around and shouting, but he's
I can't tell that I'm crunching all of the
close
leaf
enough.
sticks. Yeah, he's sort of plugged his ears up, and he's not quite aware that he's sort of rustling. Although realistically, except for Alar, neither are the other two of you. So, Alar, you can kind of hear him behind you, moving through. He's not making an enormous amount of noise, unless somebody is like lurking around here, like waiting and listening. You imagine probably it's fine. You do get into view of this body of water. It is several hundred feet across. It is vaguely oblong in shape. It is sort of longer than it is wide. It's still about 150 feet across, but it's longer, like away from you, back towards where that waterfall is at the far side. Up close to you, you can see that the bank of this body of water is just very sort of like rocky and gravelly. The water itself is extremely clear. You can see like a rock. You can see like a fallen log, a piece of a tree, several meters out into the water, and through most of the surface, you can look down and basically see almost to the bottom. It does appear that towards the center, it is probably close to 30 feet deep. Just kind of gauging based on the scale of like some stuff that you see. You can kind of see on the bottom even from the surface here, and there is this like large patch in the middle of this body of water of very sort of shaggy, very slightly waving, just with the subtle motion of this this lake as the water runs from waterfall end out, feeding out of the stream. This sort of like, it's not seagrass because it's not in the sea, but it is sort of like a kelp or an algae of some sort. Has these sort of tall, long, wavy fronds that are, you would guess, maybe 10 feet high, and form this sort of like large concealed patch out towards the center of this little body of water. There is a sort of on the far side, you kind of look over, you see there is an elk currently just like taking a drink from the edge of the pond. When Walter gets within like 5-10 feet of you, sort of catches up as he's last in line, the elk like lifts its head and looks in your direction, and then like turns and moves back further into the woods. But other than that, you don't see anything out of place here.
Just a heads up, chat says the player volume is kind of low. Like,
Player volume kind of low?
Good, but our volume is low.
Zoop. Player volume has been bumped.
Brace yourselves, chat.
Yeah, might be about to get real loud.
Test 1 2.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, chat, let us know if it's good now.
I would like to buy a vowel. It's
Testing 1 2. Testing.
I guess we'll never know.
Please,
We'll
I'm
never
desperate for
know.
feedback.
Please clap.
I was about to say, I have my mic. I have my mic pretty close to my mouth. Try.
In the beard.
All right.
How's this?
Oh,
just do
awful.
this.
Never.
Yeah, don't do
Never again.
Is that Groucho Marx on your microphone?
Yes, it is. Nobody ever gets to see it.
I don't know if that was supposed to be secret, but
No, it's there, but nobody ever
That
gets
is
to
the
see
most
it.
ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
I have a you can't see it because it's pushed down, but I have I also have a like a thing attached to the front of my microphone. It's a rare bird. Here, I'll lift it.
We
I'll
can't
lift it
see
up.
you, but I know what's
I'll lift it up and I'll show you.
If it's not the middle finger, I'll use really
It's like,
Oh,
we
right,
can't
thank
see
you.
him, but I 100% know. Like even
Sorry.
before he said rare bird, I was
Yeah,
like,
I was
I
like,
know
if it's not a-
exactly what's coming.
If it's not a middle finger,
I did just remember that like these guys can't see me on Discord because I don't have my
I knew
other
it was
camera. So really, I feel that was not intended for you, chat. That was for these four idiots. And they didn't even
Chat
get the
says
benefit of it.
Adam is good. I don't know. That doesn't count the rest.
Adam is
Also
like
meant-
almost painfully loud to me, but my headphones and the level that is coming through Discord are not always matched.
is this
Like it.
better?
Yes,
Jason still sounds slower than everybody else. Do you have Jason turned down?
because Jason
on-
refuses to admit that headset microphones are trash and get a real one.
I have a headset microphone.
It's also trash.
I was gonna say literally everybody here but me and you have headset microphones.
All right. I will get an actual mic set up.
Oh, look, I'm decent. Somebody admitted it.
Solo.
Who said you're decent?
Jason's like,
decent.
that's all I've ever wanted to hear in my life.
It's just thing anyone's ever said about Jason on this show. He's decent. That Jason, he's tolerable sometimes.
Boy, what an awkward time for us to start bullying Jason, right? As the like Moobot suicide prevention message pops up.
It knows. It knows.
Oh boy.
Well,
No. Still one of my favorite quotes from, I don't know if it was, I don't remember if it was in a recording or not, was when Matt goes, you know, for somebody who I like and I'm actively friends with, I hate everything that comes out of Jason.
I think the quote was like, for somebody who is my friend and I like very much, I hate all everything that you like and are about.
That sounds about right. That sounds,
Yeah.
that checks out.
All right.
It's not that I don't understand.
Also,
Yes.
shout out to Lala Big Mac for the Bardic Inspiration for like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, there you go. Thank
I'll be sure to use it for something stupid.
you.
All right. So you need to lure it out. Okay. Think.
Curtis, did you just give yourself 5
He lit- Don't
All right,
tell
wait a
me.
minute,
He
hang on.
literally looks down and goes,
Hang on.
"Gold."
1,000 points. Give yourself 5 gold.
Hang on a second.
Sorry. You're giving that 5 gold.
Then he just comments me.
There's no stipulation on not giving it to yourself.
Well, now apparently there are now going to be some rules.
Taking a screenshot of that. That's
Yeah.
gonna be.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
I don't even know if I have it.
Take that, Curtis.
Oh, what did you do?
I gifted myself 10 gold.
DM.
Oh no.
Uh,
Oh, no.
Oh, right, GM inspiration. Nice. All right,
because Curtis. Oh no.
dude. This
Stealth check.
this
That's-
this episode has gone so far off the rails.
I'm sorry.
In narrative, your characters have been like standing on the side of a lake, staring off into space for like 25 minutes. So you're at the lake. You're at the side of the lake. You're at the side of the lake. Osrius found 5 gold in the coat of an old pocket that he didn't know he had.
And Braum is feeling extra inspired.
And Braum is feeling extra inspired.
I got an idea. Alar quickly scribbles a note to Braum, which states, "I am going to create a silent image of someone walking up to the shore to take a drink. Cast minor illusion to make the sounds of crunching gravel and a person walking." And
Did you get that?
Somebody just clipped. I'm decent.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I want to keep that.
So
We need-
Jason
we
can
need to
always
keep that
remember.
forever, please.
Okay, so I cast silent image, and I conjure an image of that poor downtrodden fellow that we helped in the Elven Forest.
Alrighty, I think his name was Neil.
Yes.
Maybe.
Sure.
Sounds like a Neil.
Neil
He-
sounds fine.
Yeah, Neil.
Neil's in the water.
Yeah,
He heads over to the water.
Yep.
And Braum, you're gonna do. You're gonna make
effects.
sound. What does your sound effect sound like?
I don't know.
Perfect. Perfect.
Amazing.
All right, so the image of Neil comes to the water. His feet crunch on the gravel. He caws like a bird.
Packed the wrong sandwich.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Absolutely perfect.
So yeah, you do that. And I presume you look for any like type of response from the
Yep.
from the water, from the area around. Nothing seems to happen.
How far is that waterfall?
About 200 feet, like as the crow flies. You can, walk around the outskirt of the lake and like basically get over to where it hits the water.
I'm gonna mold earth and write the word waterfall with a question mark on the floor in magic float like glowy letters.
Alar's gonna bring the silent image back into the woods.
Waterfall, Brom!
What?
You think it's over there?
I don't know what to say. Yeah.
What? I
No,
think it's over there.
Yeah, no, yeah. What? It's in my hair?
Alar's just he's just gonna lean against a tree trunk, and he's just gonna watch the water just to see if the Naga just.
Yes.
Waterfall.
It was like, just take me. Just
You
please.
All right, so they're yelling at each other. Osrius moves off, or Alar moves up. Osrius, you said you throw a boulder.
No.
Is that what I heard?
So the waterfall is about 200 feet away, right?
Yeah. So imagine like,
Seeing you on camera now, so you can do all the visuals.
I'll hold something up to chat if you want to look at it. It's basically like.
Hopefully, chat can hear me. I'm sorry if I'm low here. Hopefully it's coming through my mic and not through my webcam. So we'll figure that out during break, maybe. We'll find out.
What?
Ayla's making that face again.
My God, if you yell again one more time.
So it's like vaguely that shape, right? And the waterfall.
Okay.
The waterfall like is at this far end, and you guys are like down here where the little stream comes out of it.
Ooh, okay.
So it's like as the crow flies from where you're standing, it's like 200-ish feet like straight from you, but you can easily just walk around the shore there to get like closer to it if you're wanting to go over there.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Yeah, because I can easily enough pick up a boulder and throw it in that general direction.
Okay.
I'm going to try to throw it like right into the mid-level of where that waterfall is. Where I'm guessing that with it falling down, like you can't really see anything behind it, like behind the waterfall. So
not really. It's not very wide. So like you can. The stream of water is really only like. You could like walk right up to it, and you could stand and like. You wouldn't even have to reach your arms all the way, like extended all the way out, and you can like reach both sides of like this stream of water.
Okay.
And so you like it does sort of conceal the rock like a little bit behind it, but like if if you're looking for like, oh, is there like a secret passage or whatever behind the waterfall, you'd be able to tell that there's not enough water there to conceal like an opening.
There's not enough water. Okay, well then maybe.
No, it's in the
So
yeah,
actually,
plants.
Osrius, you can make a perception check as you do like circle to the far side. You're now on like the opposite side of this patch of plant material at the bottom of the lake here.
Okay. Wow. There's a whole whopping 5.
5. You
It's cool.
see plants.
Plants. Well, with that, I'm just going to nonchalantly just huck a boulder in the middle of the water there.
Okay.
Yes.
Make a
crap.
strength check. See how far you throw that boulder.
It's fine. Okay. That is a 16.
Okay. So you, given Osrius's size and relative strength, you're probably capable of throwing something that is like maybe volleyball sized. Like something volleyball sized could like Osrius could probably palm it and like throw it. You probably are able to throw that rock like 70 feet, 80 feet. So it doesn't get like all the way out to the like the. Oh, actually, I guess it. What did I say? It's like 100. Yeah, so you can actually throw that like right center. You just huck that rock, and right in the center of that body of water with just like a sploosh, it goes into the water, and you kind of see it quickly like sink down. What you notice as it descends, the ripples go across the water. As it reaches the level of like that sort of like plant bedding, it's like dragging down, and it's sort of like creating in its wake, it's sort of like disturbing the water, so it creates a little bit of a ripple in the like the plant stuff as it passes, and between like some of these fronds as they like separate apart from the disturbance of this stone passing, you're able to spot something that you had missed before when you were kind of looking. There is what appears to be the like tip of some sort of a stone. You think it might be like a statue, perhaps? It's like vaguely humanoid shaped and clearly made out of stone, but not like the natural stone of like the bottom of this. It is something that is foreign to in there. The very, very brief glimpse that you get of it, it does appear to be like basically worn almost completely featureless and smooth, save for the like vague shape of it by just however like a long time of being in this like very slightly moving water. And as the kind of things settle down and the water becomes still again, the sort of seagrass resumes kind of its upright position and mostly conceals it again. But now that you've like seen it, you can kind of see where it is.
Right. How to do this without I don't really want to shout. I don't really want to shout. Who's the closest to me right now? Would it be both would it both be Walter and Brom?
We're just like
You guys are just hanging out beside me, right?
Yeah, I mean this area is not
Yeah.
is not so large that you can't like raise your voice a bit and be heard by them kind of wherever.
Being like, I'm gonna like just lean over to Walter, like get like kind of close to him, being like, there is something in the water there. There is a statue of some sort in that water over there. I think we need to go. We might need to jump in there.
That's a little close, Oz.
I don't care. Hopefully, then people now can hear me.
ALR is going to peer where Oz mentioned. I'll make my own perception check. 22.
From where you were like originally, you can't really see it, but if you if you start to sort of move along the bank a little bit and look where he pointed out, you spot what he was talking about. You see that there is like some sort of a stone figure submerged in the very center of this.
I'm gonna start making like being like, there is a stone figure in the water. Talking with my hands. I'll hold up like a little small stone and being like, in the water.
Minor illusion. Alar creates a stone statue, and then he points down into the water.
There you go. I pointed out and been like, yes. Yes, that's it.
I don't think that's the Naga.
That's a nada on the naga.
Well, Alar is just gonna
Thank
deafen
you,
him.
everybody. Good night.
Yeah, he's gonna throw some beeswax in there because at this point we're going to have to go in. So
Yeah.
time for all 4 of us to be deaf.
Yep.
Um,
Taylor's just tired of hearing us.
That too. um,
So yeah, if I see Abler jumping in,
yeah, he's gonna
I'm
move
going
toward
jump in too.
the edge of the water.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is very cold, almost like painfully so.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it's basically snow melt water coming from wherever slightly higher up. The water is relatively easy. Like, there's not really any current to speak of. The only motion in the water is the sort of gentle funneling from one side to the other. But as you kind of begin to move in, you can get a good 15-20 feet into the, kind of starting out into the center before you get to the point where you would have to start swimming.
Cold. Freaking cold.
The water feels fine. Just fine.
Brahm is going to be
I'm gonna watch them do that.
a smart individual and pull Bianca off his back and play a little bit of a tune and then just fly over there.
Okay.
Above the water.
Yeah, because I can cast fly.
So
Gonna float above the water with the
Yeah.
face below.
Brahm uses the arcane magics of Bianca, the Folkluken Bandor, and plucks out a light, airy melody, and with a sort of a gust of wind that dramatically sort of flares out his coat, he is lifted into the air, and is able to just sort of glide through the air over towards the center of the lake. So Brahm, you're now you're just sort of hovering airborne in the middle of the water here.
Yeah.
I'll
Alrighty.
be on the shore, and I will be providing range support for these people who went into the cold water.
So Walter is on the shore, and Osrius and Alar, you guys are kind of swimming towards the center. So,
Yep.
Easy enough to kind of swim to the center of this body of water here. Brahm is several feet above you, kind of hovering in the air. And directly below you, about a 30-foot swim straight down, is the sort of bed of vegetation, and you can see the sort of the tip of that little statue.
Okay. Deep breath. Oh, this is gonna be cold. And down he goes. And just as he enters the water, snaps his fingers, and he's got a buddy.
Alrighty, so you have Scooter, the celestial cephalopod.
Yep.
All right, and Oz, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna keep beside Alar, but kind of like not too far of a distance behind him, but like following closely, but not too closely.
Okay.
Just like trying to like feel out the situation. If anything kind of goes right, I'll jump in, but like trying to keep an eye on the surroundings while also being close enough to get involved if anything does happen.
Okay, so you are also sort of like diving down a little bit, but staying behind him. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Alar and Osrius, what are your Constitution modifiers?
+1.
Okay.
Mine is +3.
Okay. So, Alar, in mechanical terms, you can hold your breath for 2 minutes. And Osrius, you can hold your breath for 4 before you start suffocating, essentially, or drowning.
Okay.
So keep that in mind, going
4
forward.
minutes. Okay.
It takes you only about. It doesn't take you very long to like swim down the 30 feet, Alar. You get to the level of the tip of this sort of seagrass, and what you were able to see is that the tip of this sort of statue that you had seen before does connect to a figure that is mostly worn featureless, but is vaguely humanoid in shape. You can tell that there is the suggestion of like a head and shoulders and what looked like they were probably arms that were either perhaps crossed in front of it or folded over its chest somehow. You can kind of tell by the curvature of the outside that there is like a distinct shoulder and like elbow that had been tucked against the body. But other than that, it's not really anything distinguishing is like left on this. It's just stone that has been like worn smooth.
Okay.
It is, however, attached to something that is vaguely like pyramidal in shape that extends down further beneath it into the floor of this lake bed. Almost it looks to you as if like this statue were like poised on the top of a roof, basically like a pyramidal, almost like turreted like roof, and you can just make out the sort of the dim outline of a maybe 7-8 foot wide jagged sort of break in the stone that like butts up against whatever this structure is and descends deeper yet into into the ground, but beneath this lake surface. So it almost looks to you like this, whatever this thing is like some sort of a buried structure, save for like the very tip of this spire with this statue on top of it, which is sticking out of the ground, and then the lake is on top of that.
AR is going to point out the top of the structure and the hole, because he's pretty sure that's probably where the Naga's lair is. And then he's going to swim back up because that's probably taken a third of his getting down there, spotting
that whole
it.
process probably only took you about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, that's 1/4. Now he'll head to the surface again. He's going to want to get another deep breath.
Yeah,
Down, look around, and back up to the surface costs you about 30 seconds.
Okay.
That sounds good. We can both do that. I'll do that with you.
Aylar's going to cast Minor Illusion in front of Brahm and create a miniature of what he saw. And then point down.
Yeah. Brahm, Walter.
You appear to be muted, unless that's on purpose because you're all deafened.
It wasn't on purpose, but it works anyway.
It does work.
Yeah, like gonna kind of do one of these. Like,
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Bro,
one of
probably
these?
like I don't know, punch it. I don't know.
All right, so
God, okay.
I can't do anything else because flying is a concentration. So okay.
the pattern, Brahm. So from your position, the pattern of this vegetative growth at the bottom of this, it wasn't really apparent from like the shore as you're looking around, but from when you're looking straight down at it from your vantage here, it seems to be in like a whirl pattern, almost as if like it is not naturally growing in this formation but has been cultivated. So it is, you can almost kind of make out these concentric sort of ringed patterns to the individual plants that swirl around into, as it comes out, these sort of like terminating individual arms, sort of like a swirled pattern at the bottom of this.
Two questions.
Okay.
First question is: a concentration spell cast from the Bandor still has to be like concentrated.
You are
right?
still concentrating on it,
My
yes.
concentration.
Mhm.
And casting anything, even a cantrip, breaks concentration.
No.
no.
Just
You-
if you
anything
can't, you
else.
can only concentrate on one spell at once. So you can cast as much stuff as you want, but if you cast another concentration spell, you have to drop concentration on flight.
Okay, so
concentrate on the
cantrip.
spell.
I can cast a cantrip.
You can
Yeah.
cast a cantrip, yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna minor illusion the pattern of the vegetation to Alar and Oz.
I was gonna look at it for a second, then he's gonna look down.
You can kind of see it as you're
I'm giving him the
looking at
full
it.
picture.
But you're
Words, like, I
as you're
noticed it.
in the water, you're a little like, you're not like back far enough up away from it the way he is to really be able to kind of see the whole thing at once. But as he points it out to you, you can sort of see what he's talking about.
Okay. Did the Naga do this? Is this... someone else do this? Alright. Too many questions. My answer doesn't help. We've got to draw this thing out. What the heck? Let's see. What's the range on minor illusion again? Minor illusion. 30 feet, 5 feet.
How much time has passed during all this? From like
Couple of
leaving the
minutes.
shore till now? Okay, because I only have 10 minutes of flight.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've probably burned like 2 at this point.
I got an idea.
Okay.
I got an idea. It's probably not the smartest one, but at least it will be where everybody else will be out of harm for now, or at least get into a position where they can help a little bit more while one of us is just wrangling it. What if you said there was a crag? There was like a crag in this space here, in
Yeah.
this lake,
Mhm.
and that's where we think it might be.
Maybe.
What if I somehow position myself above this crag? We get it to come out of this crag, and I grab onto it while it's coming out. So therefore, if somehow we can lure it out and I have onto it, everybody else then can get in position while I'm just holding on to this thing. And I'm the only one in harm's reach while everybody else figures out what they can do. That's why I feel like I can attribute. I have no problem with this.
Well, aside from the fact that you said the word crack a lot, I have no problem with it either.
Yeah.
I was fighting jokes, but I get what
Cool.
you're going for.
You know what?
Get
You're
what
you're
down.
Alright.
you're fighting jokes while I'm making solutions.
Okay.
So-
Alar is going to cast Minor Illusion 30 feet toward Walter, and it's just the words "come here" and an arrow pointing toward the group.
Okay.
We got somebody in
Alright.
Yeah,
chat.
we are.
So maybe it was just Osrius. I don't know why Curtis. Hang on. You know what I
I
can
don't
do?
know. Can you bump up? Am I like?
I'm gonna
low
bump
on
you
Discord?
individually to see if that helps.
'Cause I don't know.
These are the questions.
These are the questions.
These
Alright,
are
I
the
bumped-
breaks.
I bumped Osrius.
Hello. Test. Testing. 1 2 3. 1 2 3. Chat, can you hear me? Whoop dee dee.
me.
Do you read?
Do you read?
Fine to me.
Well,
Okay.
that's the thing. I think it sounds good to everybody else, but
I
I'm not
bumped
sure
I
how
bumped
to-
Curtis up individually on.
much better. Hey,
Cool.
hello everybody.
Hi,
okay.
everybody.
So
Hey.
the plan at this point is you're going back down, you're diving again. And Osrius, you're gonna try and set up
That's
like
my plan.
alongside the.
I'm going to. My plan is to set up above this crack enough to where, if somebody's working with me here, either I can maybe just like smash on this crack a little bit to get something to come forcing out.
Sure.
Just shove your hand.
No,
right in.
listen. Nobody acknowledge it.
See,
Nobody acknowledge it. Just...
I'm not doing anything. I'm trying to play the damn game. I'm trying to play
I
the
was
damn
holding
game.
the catch so well that he said smash on his crack.
Oh
all right. Hey,
You know what?
everybody. We're 9, just in case that wasn't clear. We're a bunch of children.
All right.
Okay. Operation Smash the Crack is go. Alar, Osrius, you begin to dive. Alar, what is your move here as he's setting up for this?
Brahm, you've got a short bow, right? Alar conjures a image of a short bow.
Thank God.
Okay.
So he's gonna draw the hand crossbow. He's gonna plunk his head down and basically take aim toward the opening.
I want to fly up a little. Up and
You up, raise a little. Okay. How high above the surface of the water do you want to be?
does Brom have an idea of generally how big one of these creatures should be?
No, we did some checks last time. You guys are not familiar with Naga.
Yeah. So that's why I'm just.
I would say like
going
maybe
with it.
20 feet up.
Okay, so that puts you about 50 feet from like the floor of this lake.
One last thing I will do. I will send Scooter down with Osrius because he's got a trick that might be able to help him if things get a little dicey.
Alright.
He can shove the octopus in that crack.
What is everybody's passive perceptions?
Right hard.
18.
Okay.
10.
Passive perception is 12.
Okay.
10 from shore.
Alrighty. Osrius, you swim down, you descend all the way to the bottom. You kind of periodically like boop, boop, let some air out to stabilize the pressure in your ears as you descend deeper into this this water. Eventually getting yourself down to the bottom, and your feet lightly settle on the rocky surface of the floor. The seagrass is kind of all around you, obscuring pretty much anything of your vision except straight up, where you can kind of see like Alar kind of swimming his way a little bit down, and then like straight down at your feet, where you see like this stone structure is right beside you, and then you can see the opening in the ground here. You can, from what you can see, it's grows quite dark quite quickly as it goes lower. But from what you can see, this stone structure does continue down deeper, like one side of this opening, this crevasse that's created here. But it very quickly, like as it goes down, it's very jagged and uneven and sort of bendy and twisty, so you can really only see maybe another 10-15 feet down from like floor of the lake level, before your vision is impeded just by the natural curvature of this structure. Alar, how high above Osrius are you like trying to position yourself?
No more than 15 or 20 feet.
Okay.
So I'm
alrighty. So what's the plan here? You've gotten in a position. You guys have spent takes you maybe 15-ish seconds to like descend, get in position. Everybody's kind of situated. What's the plan?
All right. Well, if I'm the one that's going to be starting this off, that's fine. I am actually going to rage.
Okay.
Going to rage, because there's not a lot of times where I have rage beforehand, before doing something.
Okay.
So hopefully, I'm going to rage, and then I'm going to try to like pretty much bring like 2 fists down on the opening that is in this thing.
Okay.
And
So
either like smash it in, or like trying to make a fuss to get inside.
So you're trying
there.
to like knock stuff loose and drop a bunch of debris and crap into this opening.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's like to either row noise to come up out of this thing, or to like just like do something, get it out.
So you're like kind of, you feel your limbs are sort of sluggish as you drag them against the water resistance, but you manage to like sort of pound on the ground. You punch against this stone structure. You shake a bunch of like small rocks, pebbles, like silt and stuff, all like slide into this opening. A bunch of like cloudy sort of silt swirls up around you, further obscuring your vision. So Alar, you sort of like, you can kind of see sort of his outline still, but he's like hammering away at the ground beneath him here, and it's like kicking up a bunch of stuff and making the water in his immediate vicinity like very murky and opaque. And Osrius, what is your armor class?
Just so you know too, apparently I got a player inspiration 2 times.
Nice.
Or a proficiency bonus to, well, I guess to the crack, which we'll see. But I got a player inspiration. Oh, that's fine. Thank you.
So keep that in mind. You have a couple of inspirations you can use.
Okay. I'm sorry. My armor.
Armor class.
You said
yes.
Armor class. It's 18.
18.
Yes. Put that in my inspiration.
That is just going to be enough. So Osrius, as you were doing this, bang, 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 you're like smashing. You kind of, it becomes a little cloudy, a little murky. You're waiting, trying to see like if you can lure this thing to come up out.
Yeah.
You're caught off guard, as not from below, but like out of the plants beside you.
Oh, God.
A dark, sort of like seafoam green scaled form, like lightning fast, comes ripping out of this sort of plant cover, and you immediately feel a dagger-toothed like clamping of a jaw, like clamps down onto your shoulder, dealing 9 points of piercing damage, which will be halved because you are raging.
Hey.
So you will take 4 points of piercing, but I do need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving. That's fine. That's fine. I can do that. I'm gonna use my new dice here.
Speaking of dice, I'm
Use
gonna
the
need
old
to get
21.
Yeah.
Well, my con is +6 on the saving throw, so it's fine. That is a 19.
Is it 19? I believe that should save. Yes.
Hopefully.
So you'll take half damage here instead of full damage for your save. You are gonna get the old dice roller out here.
Great.
Yeah, you know it's bad times when I get the dice roller instead of doing it manually. So you would have taken 30 points of poison damage, but instead you will take 15.
Okay, that's not bad.
It is halved for your because you saved against the throw. So you feel these teeth bite into your flesh, and immediately the area around the bite begins to burn and sting and itch. The creature that just bit you, and you guys see this. So we'll roll initiative here, as it basically was a surprise round. Is its stealth beat everybody's passives. So you guys can start rolling initiative, and what you see is a creature that looks in body. It looks like basically a 20-foot long sea serpent, essentially. It has a snake-like long body, no arms or legs or anything. It has a scaled hide that is that sort of sea foamy, darkish, mottled green color, which perfectly blended it with the plant material that's at the bottom of this lake. Its underbelly, you see, has got these ridged, almost armored plates, and it has these pretty nasty looking spiked. So it's a spiked dorsal fin almost that comes from the. It's got a head ridge that narrows into this spiked dorsal fin that travels the entire length of its body to a barbed, pointed tail. Its face is sort of flat and doesn't have much in the way of contour. It's very hydrodynamic. It's very slick. It has a angled sort of bony protrusion where a jawline or a cheekbone sort of would be. It has these two vaguely they're not luminescent necessarily, but they're almost like cat eyes where they catch the limited light and sort of reflect back at you with these slitted pupils. And Osrius, it bites you and then continues past and goes back into the cover of these plants. It's big enough that now that you've kind of seen it, it's not hard to keep track of where it is. It's not like it predatored you and just bit you and then disappeared again. It's a big sea snake, right? So you can see it. But it sort of moves about 30 feet past you after it bites you. And sort of wheels its body around, slithering over it and over itself to face back and prepare for another run at you. So everybody can go ahead and give me your initiatives.
I don't want to say, but then I saw everybody else's initiative and I feel less bad about it.
Yeah. So I'll go first. I have a 4.
Oh no!
Ew.
Hey, guess what? Me too.
I have a 6.
Wow. Okay, guys. I have a 19.
6 is Brom.
Yep.
And 19 is Osrius.
All right.
So Osrius, you are gonna go first. The Naga is, like I said, about 30 feet away from you.
30 feet.
Yes.
Okay, and I am still holding my breath at this point.
You are still holding your breath. We're in initiative now, so like you can get a lot of work done in the 6-second rounds before you have to worry about drowning. So keep track of it. We'll say you've probably burned, all things considered, like getting down here and making all this fuss. We'll say you've burned about a minute.
A minute, okay.
So Alar, you've got about another minute. You got about 10 rounds. You can hold your breath for still before you need to surface again. Osrius, you have like 30 rounds. You're fine.
Yeah. I'm actually okay. How do I want to go about this? So we're in the middle. Okay. How would you go about this? Okay. Could I? What I'm going to try to do here. How far below of the surface of the water are we at this point?
You're the floor of the lake is about 30 feet below the surface. So like Osrius's head, Osrius is like 8 feet tall, something like that.
Yeah, like 7 feet.
So you're 30 feet minus Osrius's head height is where your head is in compared to the surface of the water above you.
Okay.
So you're a little more than 20 feet down.
All right. I'm going to try to get this thing to the surface along with me. I don't know how well that's going to work.
Okay.
For it can move insanely fast. And we're underwater. So I'm going to be trying to get this thing up into the surface.
Okay.
Wait, how to do this? Oh yeah, don't forget I have a inspiration and a proficiency.
And so do I.
Stop it. I want to. It's probably can breathe underwater. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know what to do.
Swim for me.
I don't want to.
Aquaman has joined the fight. Apparently.
You know what? I want to grapple this thing.
Okay. Now keep in mind, it is 30 feet away from you. You are underwater.
Yes.
Which halves your movement speed.
Halves my movement speed. I have 40 feet of movement speed.
Do you have because you don't have like a swim speed, right? You just have.
No, I just have straight walking.
So you can move 20 feet without having to dash while underwater.
Okay, so at that point, then, let me throw. You know what? Actually, let me throw a javelin at it.
You can totally throw a javelin at it.
Yes, I have a javelin.
So, fun fact about underwater combat. Melee attacks are automatically disadvantaged unless they are a dagger, a javelin, a short sword, a spear, or a trident. Ranged weapon attacks automatically miss if they are beyond their like normal range, and are disadvantaged regardless, unless they're a javelin, spear, trident, or dart. So,
hey,
you got that javelin. That javelin does in fact work down here.
That one javelin that I had.
You got that one javelin.
I think
you might want to consider throwing it at him.
Yeah, I was about to say. Actually, I have 4 javelins. So...
Oh, okay, all right. I was gonna say, you might want to give a little bit of thought to the decision to throw your weapon, your one working weapon.
4 free handholds on this Naga.
That's true.
If I can, well, that's the thing. If I can jam this javelin into him, or into them, sorry. If I can jam this javelin into them.
I very much appreciate that Curtis did not assume the giant sea snake's gender.
Yeah, I did it. I didn't know.
Cool. That's cool, though, right? Like,
yeah.
I didn't know.
I like
I
that.
don't want to assume.
I like
don't wanna
that.
assume.
Curtis is an enlightened player.
Curtis
Yeah.
gets an inspiration point.
So how many? Hold on, I need to write down.
I know,
what
you get DM's inspiration because I appreciate that. That was cool.
Okay. Oh, cool. Thank you. Hey, everybody should be included, especially in D&D. Oh, why
Hell
not?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I want to throw this javelin, and I'm going to be just in range too, since it is 30 feet away.
Cool. Okay.
I am also going to use one of those. I'm going to use that inspiration from the audience there
Nice.
on the attack roll. So that just gives me advantage on the attack roll.
That will give you advantage, correct? Yes.
Okay, so here we go. Okay, that's good. That is 15, 16, 17, 22 to hit.
22 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll some damage from you.
Cool.
Throw that javelin. Your arm like cuts like a knife down through the water, and the javelin takes off, and it leaves this like world like trail of like bubbles behind it as it through the water and hits into this naga. What is the damage for that?
That is actually going to be max damage on my die there. So that is a straight 10.
10. That includes your rage damage.
Oh shoot, no. Well, rage is melee.
Oh, it's your melee attacks.
Yes, it's only melee.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So he is hit with this javelin. It sticks into the naga, and it like opens its mouth and gives this like doesn't necessarily make a audible sound because you're underwater and like your ears are plugged. But as it opens its mouth, you almost feel it more than you hear it. It's like a pulse of pressure that like hits your body, and you feel it like reverberate like a drum in your chest, and like your eardrums, even through the wax, kind of like pulse with this as it lets out this noise under the water. But that is a solid hit, and that will bring us around to the. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Can I also move up 20 feet then?
Yeah,
half my move. See, I'm going to move up
20 feet towards the naga.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Alrighty. So the naga is going to. So the first thing it does is you see it's like its mouth moves, and it does have like it has enough vaguely humanoid structure to like its jaw and lips and mouth that you can kind of tell it's like almost forming. It looks like it's forming words, but again, you instead of like hearing anything, you just get sort of like you get this percussive series of like that like strike you through the water, in like a very particular like staccato cadence of some sort, and it does this, and it like pauses for a half a second after it does, and it's sort of like you see its eyes like flicker across your face, and Osrius, I think you can probably like you can tell that there is intelligence in this creature's face. Like it does not look at you with the face of like a bestial like predator. It looks at you like a sentient sapient being that is like studying. You almost get the sense that it's like gauging your reaction to this like pulse of like sound wave through the water that it just made. And when actually I should ask this, what languages do you guys speak, the two of you who are underwater?
Draconic, Elven, Dwarven, Common.
Yeah, I only speak
think
Common,
that's it.
Elvish, and Giant.
Let me just
Okay.
make sure. Celestial, Common, Draconic, Dwarvish, Elvish, and Thieves Can't.
Okay. All right. So yeah, never mind. When you like don't react in any noticeable way to this, or like don't seem to show any sort of like comprehension, it like curls its lip in like a snarl and rushes through the water at you again. So it is going to cross the 10 intervening feet left between you, and it's going to attack you again, Oz. He rolled better than he did last time, which means he should hit you again.
No.
Yeah, it's a dirty 20 this time.
Ooh.
So you are still raging, so you will take half on the piercing, which is going to be would have been 8, so you'll take 4 additional piercing damage.
All right.
And then go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Come on, buddy. Come on, dice don't fail me now. All right, you failed me.
Add that proficiency bonus.
Proficiency
bonus.
I'll add the proficiency.
Can you add you add that proficiency bonus in there.
So, we're at 15. With everything
15?
added, we're at 15. Yes.
That is enough. That is enough to succeed. So you'll take half damage
Thank you
again.
for the audience on that one. Holy shit.
So you would have taken.
Ooh, this thing's nasty.
You would have taken 28 points of acid damage, poison damage,
acid
poison
damage.
but you will take 14 poison damage instead.
All right.
As it bites onto you again.
I'm looking half okay. Looking a little beat up.
Alrighty. And it is again. It's going to risk the opportunity attack from you, Osrius, to continue to move. Its additional, like the rest of its movement. It's going to use another. Use 10. It'll use another 30 to get 40 feet from you.
Okay. And it's an attack of.
You can attack with opportunity him on like the way past. Now that you're not surprised. You can
and that only, and so that can only be an attack, and like an attack option. Like say if I wanted to like grapple, like maybe grab onto the javelin that is possibly stuck in them.
Let me see. I think it's just a melee attack.
I want to say it's probably just a melee attack. If it's just a straight,
I want to double.
I think it's a straight.
Just to make sure.
Yeah. Because if I can, I would rather grab for the javelin that's stuck in them, possibly, than swing at a disadvantage melee attack.
We'll get there eventually.
I want to say it is. It's good to look up. You have
one melee attack.
It's just one melee attack.
Yes,
okay.
You can make a melee attack.
Okay. And you said like axes and things like that are at disadvantage.
So yes, your great axe will be disadvantaged underwater as you are you have to basically swing it against the water resistance.
Okay, we'll do that then.
Okay.
Go ahead and do that. Okay, come on. Give me high rolls. Okay, those are 2 18s, which I don't mind.
Very nice. That's enough to hit you. I don't even need no
Okay, cool. Great.
The 18 alone is more than enough. So go ahead and roll damage as it like hurdles past you. You like grab your axe and swing it around, and even though the thing is like 20 feet long, and you basically start swinging your axe right as it's like bit you and starts moving, almost the entirety of its serpentine body gets past you before that axe like gets up. But you cut, you clip the last 2 feet of the back of it, and you cleave with the axe, and you can hear the sort of underwater rend of flesh, and a gout of dark blood spurts out from it. I mean, it gives out another one of those like pulses of sound wave and wriggles away and continues on.
All right. All the damage together is 13.
13 damage. Ooh. Well, I accidentally hit a multiplication symbol there, and you almost did 741 damage.
Can we just go ahead with that? I think everybody would be fine with it. And I don't think anybody has a problem with that. Audience, players, I think 700 damage seems
What do you think?
fine.
Scooter thinks it's okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Brahm, it is your turn. So you can see, but beneath this water here, there is a big,
a lot of blood
like
and
serpentine creature, like just zigs. It's like basically just zigzagging and like striking Orsic over like twice now, underwater or Orsic, different campaign. Osrius is you see him like huck a javelin underwater. You see him like swing his axe as it comes past him. But clearly, like every time they like interchange, this thing is just like hitting and moving and like keeping out of his reach.
Okay. Is it possible that this thing does bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage?
Do piercing. We know that it does piercing.
It has been doing piercing. It would be it's a pretty safe. Like you have been watching it. Like it's been biting him. So like, yeah.
Okay. If that's the case, I'm going to use the cantrip. I'm going to cast Blade Ward.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I can only do that on myself. I can't cast it on Orsic.
No, that's fine.
On,
Do whatever you guys need
not
to do.
Orsic.
You did it too.
Yeah, I
me
know.
up.
I'm sorry. I picked two O names for two different
Yeah.
campaigns. I get it.
And then let's see. There's not much I can do unless I drop concentration. So I guess I'm just gonna shoot an arrow at it.
What's the range on the short bow there? Because I think you're automatically gonna miss because you have to shoot down into the water and it's too far away from you.
80.
80 is the minimum on the short bow.
Yeah, there should like 81,
80 to 320.
320.
Oh, okay, then you should be okay because it's. You said you were moving 20
I went
feet
20
above
feet
the
up,
water,
so I'm 50 feet.
so he's
from the bottom, you
50
said.
feet from you. Okay, so yeah, you can actually make a shot at disadvantage still,
Okay.
but you can make a shot. For some reason, I guess it wouldn't have mattered. I
Hand crossbow is 30.
That's what I was
The
thinking
lower
of.
one is 10.
That will miss. So you like pull back and fire the arrow down into the water, and it kind of like hurtles down, but the water resistance just like slows its momentum until it eventually like stops heading down and just sort of like tilts and then floats
Well, I tried.
down. Up? Do arrows float? Seems like it would sink. The arrowhead's probably heavy enough to weigh it down. So it
Maybe.
Yeah,
floats.
you would think.
I would bet the fletching might help keep it aloft. If it was like placed on the top of the water, since there's probably some like water resistance to the feather, but since it is in, I think it just sinks down to the bottom. Okay. Alar and Walter on initiative 4. Walter, you are having kind of a hard time seeing what's up from where you're at because you're like level with the surface here, and this is out like 75 feet from you and then down. But you can definitely see this sort of like commotion, and then you can see the big shape of like.
I saw Brahm like shoot an arrow into the water. I can imagine something's up.
You can sort of see it down there. Like it's big enough that you can definitely see the motion of something sort of long and thin-ish, like zigzagging back and forth in the like plant material down here.
What we're gonna do is how far out is the commotion?
The center of the lake is like 75 feet from you. And then like down, so it's a little bit more, but give or take, we use
swim
that
speed
as
is half of movement speed unless you have.
swim speed is half movement unless you have a specific swim speed. Yes.
All right. I guess I will jump in the water and take my turn to dash.
Come on, buddy. The water's
Alrighty.
fine.
I will doggy paddle to victory. That's my entire
Alrighty,
turn.
so you're able to move 30
Oh,
feet
it's
out
30
into the
feet.
water. Alrighty. And Alar, what are you gonna do?
It's surrounded by those that seagrass again.
It is down in that seagrass still.
I'm going to ask a DM interpretation. Would the seagrass count as an anchor point for the spell web?
Let me give that a look. Alright, so web. 20-foot cube and webs are difficult to rain and lightly obscure the area. Webs that aren't anchored between two solid masses. No, they're probably not substantial enough to count as an anchor point like a tree would.
Okay.
You could theoretically put it on the floor, but that I don't know if that would do any good.
And I mean, this thing's not on the seabed,
No,
so
it's not. It's probably 5-6 feet above the floor.
okay. In that case, it wants to play with sound. I can play with sound too. It makes a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Oh man, it's been. I know I looked this up at some point. This is Toll the Dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't have verbal components, because that might be a problem.
That was my question. Is like I know I've looked this up in the past. Is like does being underwater impede your verbal components? For now, I'm not going to worry about it, and it should be fine. We'll just spellcast. And people have complicated opinions on that matter. I know that. Its wisdom save is a 12.
All right. Then 2d12 damage it is.
Alrighty.
Nice. It takes 14 points of what kind of damage? Necrotic damage.
Okay.
And
Ooh.
my somatic component is to give it the finger, and then I start swimming for the surface.
I like the little edit. Somatic opponent, give it a finger. There you
Okay. So there's a noise, Osrius, like a depth charge goes off, just this like as Alar casts this spell, and you kind of see the Naga like writhes in on itself as this like pulse of sound under the water strikes it. It immediately, like as Alar begins to like swim up, it like changes its focus where it had been like looking at you. It like snaps up into Alar's direction. But Osrius, it is going to be your turn again.
So it snaps up in this direction, and
Yeah, it's
now
now looking. It's like looking towards Alar now. It is 40 feet away from you.
40 feet away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's no point in getting closer to it because I won't be able to reach it. I do have another javelin.
You do have another javelin.
So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw a javelin at it.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
No, I forgot. On my action, Scooter leaves
Ooh.
Osrius and swims up to me.
Yes.
It can move 30 feet, so.
How am I looking for air? Can we say about 2 minutes? 1 minute left.
2 rounds. So you used
6
a
seconds.
minute before combat started, and
Okay.
12 seconds have passed.
12 seconds have passed. Okay.
So from this point, I would just start counting rounds. When we reach 10 rounds of combat, another minute will have passed.
Okay, cool.
So you're
That's
like you got plenty of time.
Okay, that's great then. That's good to know because I was waiting for that kind of to get into initiative to try to like actually start keeping track. All right. Straight javelin. Ooh, yeah, that's a miss. I'm not even gonna. That's a 10.
Okay.
That's a 10. That javelin's in the water.
Yes, a 10 does miss you. You throw it, but this one isn't quite as like perfectly cutting through the water, and it's sort of like after a dozen feet or so, it's sort of like the tail end of it like fishtails a little, and it loses its trajectory and just sort of like sinks into the bottom and nosedives into the rocky ground. That will bring us to the Naga, which is going to head directly at Alar. Having seen him, witnessed him like hit it with a spell from a distance, it reprioritizes towards him and heads towards Alar. So it will ascend. Were you able to get to the surface with your?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
only about 10 feet underwater, so I
Okay.
am.
So it'll use we'll call it 40 feet of movement to represent the like x-axis and up, and it will come and make a bite attack against you, which is going to be a 23 to hit.
Oh well, yeah, that definitely hits.
Jesus.
So the piercing damage.
Uncanny dodge.
Sure. The piercing damage will be 3. No, will be 6. So you'll uncanny dodge to take half.
Okay.
And then I need a con saving throw.
No, the roll is just straight no.
The roll is just
no.
no.
I fail.
I rolled and it's weird. Instead of a number, the word no just came up on my
Yep.
dice. Okay, so you are going to take a total of 25 points of poison damage.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, that's half my hit point total right there.
So Alar, this like you kind of like swim to the surface and you can like you feel it coming a second before it hits you as like the displacement of the water like ripples against your leg, and this thing just comes up from underneath and like clamps into your rib cage. Just one quick like bite release, but immediately you feel like the skin where those like rows of razor teeth pierced into you begins to like burn, and you feel a little like you get like lightheaded for a second as this like poison begins to pump into you. For a brief second, as it like bites you, it surfaces. So Walter, you kind of like have been seeing this like shape move. All of a sudden, you see like Naga, like the head of this Naga comes out of the surface of the water right near Walter. Brahm, this is like directly below your feet, and Alar, its face is like probably just like a foot from you, and it for like a second like you lock eyes with this creature, and so you have your ears plugged, right? So
Yeah.
it like makes eye contact with you, and you see its mouth move, and it like but very quickly just sort of like barks whatever this is as it's like coming up, and then dives again and uses the rest of its movement to continue another about another 20 feet from you. All right, move 45, I said, right?
40.
So it can move 40, so it can move 20, yeah, so it'll move 20 feet like away from you, down again.
I get the opportunity attack.
You can take the opportunity attack if you'd like.
All right. Let's see. Dagger. Oh, that's better. I wish I'd gotten that for the save. That's a 25.
That will definitely hit.
It'll take 6 points of damage.
Okay. So, as opposed to whatever it was speaking like beneath the water, that was like that sort of percussive sound pulsing language, you can just sort of like outside of your beeswax earplugs, like whatever it said to you a second ago had like a more familiar cadence of like maybe even the common tongue to it. You couldn't tell what it said, and like its mouth is not
I couldn't
really
read its
configured
lips.
in a way to like potentially read lips because it's got like fish lips. But like you get the impression that it's like it's not just making like noises at you. It seems to be like speaking, but you either can't understand or can't hear or some combination of the two.
Oh, I'm probably gonna do something stupid. Okay.
That was the Naga's turn,
Yep.
which does bring us, Brahm, to you. So it is now about 40 feet from you, since you were 20 above the water, and it's now 20 down. Russell's making a face like he's confused that it's his turn.
Oh.
He's
Right.
not
You
aware it's
cut
his turn.
You cut it at the end there, and I was like,
Oh.
I don't know if you were done talking, if like I don't know if you were still talking and I just wasn't hearing it, or so I didn't want to just start talking over you on stream if you were still going. Going to how far from like the shore, not shore, like ground am I on either side?
You're looking at like 70-ish feet in either direction.
But I don't think it's
For either direction, like width-wise across it. It's much further if you go like long ways, because remember this thing is like sort of oval shaped.
All right. Because again, I don't really want to end up in the water with this thing. How long is it? Is it? Well, time really slowed down once we went into initiative, right? So we're not even close to the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, it's been like 18 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try with the short bow again. Just okay. Well, wasted a nat 20, but the lower one was a 16.
Okay. A 16 will hit.
Cool.
So go ahead and roll damage as you do manage to fire that arrow into the water.
12 piercing damage.
12 piercing damage. Okay.
And actually, well,
Make sure people are looking at like. There's a lot of inspiration going on, so make sure.
Yeah, the chat is really like
Yeah.
throwing loot at you guys tonight.
Yeah, let's make sure we're looking at that because now.
well, the thing
Alter
probably
inspiration
can't
and AR
hear me underwater.
Bardic inspiration.
It probably cannot hear you from underwater.
Okay, so I cannot vicious mockery this thing.
You can get it above the water, then maybe.
Hey, come up here. I want to talk to you.
Come up here.
Come here. Come here, I just want to talk.
There's not even a point of me casting Bardic Inspiration on Oz because he's got 147 from chat.
I mean, it doesn't help. It doesn't hurt.
I think we've discovered today's chat. You are making our bard feel like he's not a valued member of this team because his bardic inspiration feature is being outsourced.
I mean, he is.
It's our job.
I mean, he is standing above the water there.
Okay, note to self: Jason
Nobody-
never gets Bardic Inspiration ever again.
Nobody makes our teammate feel bad but us.
Honestly, though, like, how many times have you used Bardic Inspiration?
I don't know, you people don't often need it.
It's not the point. Yeah, I only have one player inspiration now.
So are you doing nothing, Russell, with the...
Yeah, because the only other thing I can do that besides that is I would lose my concentration. So
Okay.
can't finish
All right, so you do manage to shoot it with an arrow. That arrow like hits it as it's like descending after having bitten Alar. That arrow hits it like right underneath like the crest ridge from like the over its head in like the back of its neck, and it like lashes its head in a combination of like pain and like surprise and like involuntarily muscle spasm as it's hit with this arrow. That will bring us to Alar and Walter. So Walter, you are treading your way out here. You have better line of sight on this thing. It's probably about you moved 30 last time, so it's like what, it's like 40-ish feet from you still.
Yeah, so I have a weird question.
You often do. Go ahead.
Always.
Yeah, this is gonna be a
It's a game-breaking question. I can guarantee that.
not
Yeah, it
really.
is. Just go ahead.
So the message spell states that you point your finger towards a creature within range and whisper a message. The target and only the target hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear.
Mhm.
If I am partially deafened by beeswax, does that affect my ability to hear that response?
I think
Because it's not the sending spell, which is like kind of in your head. I'm sorry, my headset sucks.
Ignore me.
Because it's not telepathy. It's
so. I am. What I'm reading here, I just did a quick Google search. It's not telepathy. So theoretically, the wax in your ears, and potentially like messaging to this thing under, like with it being underwater or Alar underwater, or whoever you're trying to message, would possibly be thwarted. Like the spell will work whether or not like the receiver can hear you or you can hear the response because you have wax in your ears, is uncertain.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is because I'm pretty sure Walter would have picked up on like the giant snake demon monster thing, like trying to like communicate in some way with Alar before like getting all pissy and like leaving. I'm pretty sure he would have picked up on that reasonably well. So I'm gonna risk it because it's 120 foot range and it doesn't require direct line of sight. I just have to know where the creature is roughly, or that the creature exists within range. So I'm going to attempt to send a message using the message cantrip.
Okay. And what is your message?
The message doesn't have any real restrictions like sending does. So I'm just gonna send a message to the creature, asking, can it understand us and is it willing to parlay?
Okay. You send this message off. Alar, what before I resolve that, Alar, what are you doing? Because this would be happening simultaneously to Alar's action.
I'm going to have Scooter release an ink cloud. It's a 5-foot square around it and thus me, as a defensive measure.
Okay.
And Aylar's going to realize this thing tried to communicate with me. I don't think it was a spell. and I don't trust the witch. So I'm going to take a risk. And he's going to try and pull out some of the beeswax in his ear as his action.
Okay, so you scoop out, clearing one of your ears.
I'm hoping that because of the obscuring of the ink cloud, it won't have a direct shot at me.
Okay.
When it comes around for another pass.
All right. The resolution of those two simultaneous actions. Walter, a few moments pass, and you get a response to your spell. Make me a perception check to see how well you are able to, like, decipher what is being replied to you via the wax lodged in your ears.
Nice!
What did you roll?
Nat 20.
Nice. Very good. Okay.
I was like, oh look, it's in the chat here in the campaign.
I have 6,000 other tabs open. I'm not looking at that. Very good. Also, chat can't see it, so you do have to announce what you rolled instead of just cackling. Very good. Okay, so a nat 20. So at first it does sort of a little bit sound like the adults from Charlie Brown, where it's like, but you pick out, you're pretty sure, in common, a voice responds to you that says, "You are intruders into my home, and now you wish to parley. Why have you come?" And Oz, you notice from your vantage under the water here, this thing, number one, looks to be in rough shape. Like, you guys have filled it full of javelins and arrows and axe wounds and stuff. But it sort of, like, lashes around, and instead of, like, rushing forward again or, like, preparing to, it looks like it kind of pauses for a second, and sort of you see it, like, looks around, and then you watch its mouth move, as if it's, like, talking to somebody.
Okay. Alright.
That will bring us to your turn. So, like, we're still in initiative here. Walter gets the response to his spell there, and that does bring us to you. So this is what you see, from down below. It's probably about 20 feet from you, since you're, like, on the bottom, and it kind of went up to Alar and then back down. So now it's, like, sort of in the middle ish. So it's only like 10, 15, 20, like, somewhere in that range from you. It's like it's within, like, swim up to it range from where you're positioned currently.
Okay. If it's noticing it talking, and I'm the only one in the water right now, so I don't.
Alar is still in the water, but, like, if you
Alar is still in the water.
there's like a poo cloud where Alar was a minute ago.
Okay.
Just a black, like, expanding mass.
If I do notice it trying to talk and it's not coming after me, I'm going to, I guess, through my better judgment, I will take one of my plugs out.
Okay.
I'm not going to be able to understand it. That's the other part. But if it's not attacking me, then maybe I can show some sort of a gesture of being like, I don't know, my action just kind of being like mouthing, being like lips to ear, being
Okay.
like,
Sure.
That's about it.
Okay. You do that, Osrius, and the Naga goes from like kind of looking around, looking towards like where Alar was, looking towards where like Walter's like feet are swimming towards you guys, and as you like do this, it turns to face you, and
Yeah, just doing like
you hear, like, even though you're underwater, like you hear almost like whispered in your ear a voice which says, "Why now do you wish to parley?"
okay.
And you can respond to that,
Okay.
because it has used the message spell also.
Oh, okay. I wish to no. What to say? We've come for. We've come for.
what have you come for, Osrius?
I'm not, oh my goodness. I'm clearly not the party. I am not the party speaker. I am the background. I do not claim this role whatsoever. I am terrible at this. I am not the party speaker. I'm going to just say we are here to find a way to breathe underwater. We happen to run into you. I am sorry. Yes.
Okay. That will make it. So that will bring it to. So the Naga's move then. So the message spell was its action. The Naga's move is going to be. It's gonna back away from you guys, like.
Oh, okay.
Where like Brahm is up in the air, Alar's in the water, Walter's in the water, you're in the water. It's gonna go like back and upward. It's gonna surface. But it's going to surface like as far from you guys physically as it is capable of getting.
Okay.
And like the bottom length of it is still like in the water, kind of like slowly sort of rotating. It's like finned tail to keep it, floating in place. Whereas like the head sort of like sea serpent style comes up out of the water. And that's it. That's all it's gonna do. It'll wait.
Okay.
So Brahm, you see this?
No, come on. He doesn't know.
I still can't hear it. I heard none of that, right?
You have heard nothing thus far.
You would have seen ALR
But multiple
pull
people
some
have
of the
not
wax
done
out of his
anything,
ear.
right?
What's that?
But multiple people have not attacked it at this point now?
You have watched Walter sort of like mutter while looking in its direction. You see, like, kind of saw his mouth move. Though you didn't see anything necessarily happen. You would have seen Alar like dig wax out of his ear. And you probably have a tough time seeing Oz at this point because it's murky now between squid ink and everything.
To hold my action then that like if the Naga gets violent again, I'm gonna cast some stuff.
Okay. So you sort of prepare the threat of imminent magic. Alar and Walter, what are you guys doing? So it's now like 50-ish feet away from you guys, 50, 60-ish feet away. Further for you, Walter, since you weren't quite up there. But it has like surfaced its head and is now like warily watching the those of you that it can see.
I'm as soon as it surfaces and like looks like it like makes like I guess as best as I can tell if it's making a face, it's trying to listen. I'm gonna cast another message spell at it, just because I don't know if it can hear me correctly. And I'm going to say, we came we came for your blood to make a potion of water breathing, but I'm not sure that that's strictly accurate.
Okay, so it's like readjusts its attention to you, and you kind of see it sort of like it sort of double takes between you and like down at Oz, as if this like the original sort of sequence of events. It maybe thought Oz had been the one it was it was communicating with, as like it got a message spell from you from over there, and then Oz immediately did this. But then as you kind of cast this spell again, and it is now able to see you, like speak and then hear you, it sort of refocuses on you, and it doesn't reply to like the message spell. It just speaks for the benefit of like those who are on the surface at this point. And it, boy, that voice is not sustainable for the remainder of this evening, so we're gonna alter that.
There is
it's
may I
alright.
make a suggestion about which voice might be easy to use?
I gotcha. Don't worry about it. It sort of like looks at you, and I actually to the message spell. I will reply to the message spell first, and it says, you just hear it kind of questioningly, like, "Who are you?" At this point, we can probably go out of initiative, so you guys can.
Okay.
If everybody's not fighting anymore, like we can talk now.
Go to swim up
so
to
like
the
if
surface.
Osrius
and
swims up.
It's like,
So I will respond to its response with introducing myself. I am Walter Gray. I'm from a nearby town, and I spoke with Granny Josephine, and she told us that the only way to save my kin via water breathing potion was to collect pails of your blood.
It considers this information, and when you mention Granny Josephine to it, you can see like a light bulb goes on, like something clicks in understanding in its face, and it says, "Ah, I understand now. For long, long years, I have guarded my keep. For just as many, she has desired to take it from me. She is not strong enough to vanquish me herself, so she has sent you.
I can see why she would covet it. If that is what I think it is, that is an incredible find that you've made your home.
This is the protection of what lies inside. Is my lifelong duty." And it considers the group of you for a moment, and it says, "Your ears, plugged with wax, Did she tell you that I would put you under a spell if you hurt me?
Yes.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
It sort of grins this, like, malicious grin, and it says, to keep us from speaking, no doubt.
I regret the
Thanks.
harm that we have caused you.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the javelin there. I would like that back at time.
Splurter.
It says, well, I can't even do that anymore. All right, we're going full meme mode. Forget it. The tone of this episode dictates the true form of the Naga be revealed. So it sort of goes like, I'm sorry, I had something stuck in my throat.
What?
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm old Greg.
Greetings, old Greg.
I'm old Greg. I'm old Greg the Naga.
Old
I'm
Naga
Hallowed.
Greg.
I'm old Naga Greg.
I can't.
Well, old Naga Greg, you better get busy living or get busy dying.
Unfortunately, you attacked me right off of you some Baileys.
Why does the Naga Greg slightly sound like Morgan Freeman?
Well, that is what it is. I'm old Greg. He says,
Yeah.
he says, well, you've got me at a disadvantage. I don't want to hurt you.
He's part Morgan Freeman, part Foghorn Leghorn.
That's what old Greg sounded like, is it not?
Yeah, no, you're doing a great impression.
You want to go to a club where they wee on each other? That's what he sounded like. That's what his voice was.
Yeah. No, you're fine. Keep going.
He says, you've hurt me badly. I'm bleeding. You have me at your mercy. If
All
you
right.
will spare me and promise to leave this place, I think we can come to an accord that'll work for both of us.
Sounds fair.
Walter, do you have any healing magic left?
You have my healing word.
Oh.
I can burn my.
I can
healing
heal.
word on,
I can heal.
Yeah. How about we just take a little bit of blood from that javelin wound there, and then we'll heal you back up, and then we'll be on our way.
Let's hear Greg's deal.
He says,
Not
I think
good.
we can come to an accord. And listen, I know what you're thinking. Here comes old Greg. He's a scaly fish man. You don't know me. You don't know what I got. I got something to show you. And he lifts his like axe wounded tail, and you can see the the blood leaking from it. And he says, I got more blood in me than a whole shoe full of Baileys. I can give you a couple of buckets. You go back to that there witch. You tell her you did old Greg in. Tell her I'm dead. Get her to make you your potions. Then when she comes back here to have her unsightly ways with old Greg's treasures down there in that there cave, that's when I'll get her.
I like this plan.
Yeah, that sounds fine. Do we have any loyalties to this old woman?
I mean, aside from the moral obligation of granny murder, no.
I don't think that was a human that we dealt with. I'm not even sure that was
Look,
even.
I mean, I'm just saying, I have no. I'm not opposed to
every-
granny murder.
everybody from the town knows not to make deals with Granny Josephine. I don't think too many people would feel bad if she wasn't a problem anymore.
I mean, other than the complications of straight up murder.
Brom, I think you're gonna have to take the lead on speaking with Granny.
Yeah.
But
I don't
we
have
can
a
do
problem
this.
with it. As long as this woman is not nice, then that's fine. Those are my those are my stipulations.
Okay, so if you guys agree to that, he says, all right, well, why don't you just come on closer to old Greg right now, and I'll give you what you need.
Fine.
Everything about that statement I hated.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
Alar
that's fine.
just gives a full body shudder, but because he's the one with the bucket, he will.
How do we know this?
Swim closer.
How do we know this isn't also just a trap?
If this is a trap, then this is the greatest
I'm
trap of
than
all
my whole
time.
held action, so I'm not going to quote.
Then
And
this is-
Alar will head over and he'll get over near the shore and set the bucket down.
yeah, I'll go over. I'm gonna go on over and acquire my javelin, while also being nice, being like, here, just let me take this real quick, thank you.
You like pull the javelin out. He sort of like slithers over to the shore so that you guys can like collect the blood from him that you need. And as you guys like begin to go to your work, he like watches you. And you begin to gather some blood, and he sort of like flexes his like tail a little bit so that like the blood kind of like oozes out of that wound and starts to sort of fill up that bucket. And he looks at you, Osrius, as you're doing that, and he goes, "Do you love me?
Okay, you can stop. You can stop now.
Do you wanna come back to my place? Old Greg's got all sorts of nice things.
I'm in a relationship.
I do
thank you.
watercolors.
Um,
I'll show them to you. I got one called
Yeah.
Bailey's.
you seem
I got
You
one
seem
So it's
called
a good time for the suicide hotline prevention to go.
I got one called Bailey's, but a bit bigger. This
you know
one,
what? You see,
my
you seem
favorite
like a
one's my favorite one's called As Close as You Can Get to Bailey's Without Getting Your Eyes Wet.
Okay, you seem like a very nice water naga and a very nice person, but I think we have to get going, right, Alar?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
good.
Alright, good.
Walter, could
We
you
got some time.
could you spare a healing word for this nice water naga? Thank
Yeah.
you very, very much.
Points of healing.
And Alar is backing away.
Thank you.
Scooter has burrowed under his coat.
I bid you adieu.
Yes, thank you, and good luck killing that crazy granny.
Yeah, thank you.
He says, "All right now, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to come on back and hang out with old Greg. I'm old Greg." It's just in the distance as you guys get further and further from the lake.
Oof.
As we get far enough away, I'll be like, all right, everybody huddle up real quick.
I think I was
we can
touched.
all agree to never talk about that ever again.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
Everybody good?
Talk about what?
Everybody takes old Greg
I
to their
have
grave.
successfully repressed this memory. What are we talking about?
Hey, look, all I know is nobody is ever from my town going to go anywhere near that lake anytime in the next 100 years.
That's fine.
I
probably
was
a good
going
idea.
to suggest vaguely that it might be a potential delve site, but no.
I don't rightly know, sir. Make an assessment.
Make an assessment.
Make an assessment. I like you. I got it. It was a little more nasally than I remembered. Hello, Greg. All right, now that we're done with that,
Okay.
Time to swindle Granny Joseph.
How to divorce from brother.
Good. Oh man. Oh, that was a moment.
Oh boy.
All right, switch gears.
Fratricide.
That's
That's a
something
permanent
else
solution.
entirely.
I'm gonna deal with that nasty old witch. Maybe
Mm.
I'll deal with that witch the same way I dealt with Carly Jefferson. Anyway, I can't stop now. This has become a problem.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to the witch, and she's gonna sound the same.
Yeah.
Oh god, the old witch was old Craig the entire time.
Oh man.
All right, Brom.
Use those charisma skills.
Like I said, you're gonna take the lead. He's gonna hand the bucket. We're gonna stand off because, well, Oz and I are obviously beat up.
I will go with Brahm to deposit the pails, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
If she asks you, we fought valiantly.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys are heading back to Granny Josephine's hovel, yes?
Yep.
You return there, and it is just as you left it. The sort of mangy, raggedy, falling apart hovel with a little bit of kind of smoke coming out of one of the out of the chimney in the back. And as you sort of approach, you knock on the door. It opens after just a few moments, and standing there, just the same as before, just as frail and sort of hunched and withered looking, is the visions of Granny Josephine. And she looks at you guys, and she sort of like blinks and sort of clears and takes you in, and she says, "Oh, back so soon? And a bit worse for the wear, I see. Come in, all of you. You must have had a hard trip to get there and back in such a short time. I'll put the kettle on." And she turns and heads into the hut, leaving the door open behind her.
Jesus goddamn Christ, Victoria. I'm sorry that my microphone's a little bit low.
Okay,
That
you did
was,
sound like you belong in a murder basement.
Yeah,
The
that was
worst noise I've ever heard.
yeah,
Guys,
that wasn't good. Don't do
I
that again.
regret ever putting these headphones on.
I would like
led to the event of listening to that.
if since chat's been all about the clips tonight, I would like a clip of Jason doing that, and then the because it did pop up on screen, where I immediately went and it server muted him. Let me make sure it was Jason. All right, yeah, I undid it, so everybody should be good now. Oh God.
I think I'm just turned down. I don't think I'm like, because everybody else sounds normal to me.
We can fix that too. All right, Jason's now loud boy. So, who is entering here?
I guess.
I will walk in with Alar. I guess we'll. Sorry, not Alar. Brahm. So, I guess each of us has a pail.
Okay.
Sure.
Sure.
One
you
plastic pail of doom.
You bring those in, and she just without looking, as she's like going and busying herself with the kettle, she just sort of reaches one gnarled, crooked finger and points to a sideboard over on one side of the wall, and she says, "You can just set those down there, and I'll get to them in a moment."
Sure, but we're on a little bit of a time crunch.
And she says, "Oh, there's always time for tea." And she sets the kettle on. And she says, "Water will be ready in a minute. Now let's see about those water-breathing potions you need." And she heads over to the where you put the 2 pails of blood. And she kind of like looks into one of them. She dips a finger into one a little bit, sniffs it, wipes it on her already like filthy frock, and she says, "Very good. I can prepare something in just a jiffy. Let me get to work here." And she begins moving about this space in her hovel, which is like absolutely crowded and jam-packed with all manner of things that you had seen before. But she goes over and she grabs several like little passels of dried herbs that she brings over, and she puts them into crushes them with a mortar and pestle.
I'm gonna try to pay attention really, really hard while she's doing that to see if I can like come close to being able to replicate it on our own.
Okay, you can make a let's call it an Arcana check.
Nope, that's 5. She is doing the heebie-jeebies with the.
It's a lot
with
of
random
like
things.
It's a lot of weird stuff. So it's like random herbs. She gets what is like definitely a real desiccated, like dried husk of like a frog, which she like breaks in half and puts that into a bowl. She adds a little bit of the blood to the mixture and begins to like churn it up. She makes this like foul looking wad of this like paste like material. And she goes about like sifting through some things on her various racks of items to get ingredients. You guys see there's these like strung up all kind of around this space. There's these like discrete little like bundles. They're wrapped up in like sort of like tattered not canvas, like sackcloth material. They have like, you can kind of see like some of them have like some sort of twigs forced through them. They appear to be like they have like, there's like twine wrapped around them. Some of them have like bits of what looks like animal fur or like raggedy feathers tied to them. And many of them have some sort of a symbol, almost like seems like it has been like cross-stitched into this surface, the outer layer of this bag. And there's a bunch of these like suspended around, and they have like different symbols, which almost look like they're like alphanumeric runes, but they're a little more like, they're a little closer to like pictographic style runes. They don't necessarily mean anything to any of you guys. Even Walter, with your special eyes, I think you have to physically touch one of them, right? If you were to try and do that.
It looks like nope. It's eyes of the Runekeeper. I can just read all writing.
Okay, so
like,
they don't
just,
translate.
yeah,
they don't translate into a like written word necessarily, so much as you get the sense that they are like symbology for something.
The symbology
but she kind of like brushes against a couple of these as if she's like considering. She picks one finally, like plucks it off. Heads over as she's kind of doing this. The tea kettle starts to like, and she totters over, plucks it off the fire, and comes over, and this small like bowl that she has been making this like paste like material in, pours some boiling water over the top of it, and it immediately releases this acrid like of a sort of a violet purplish smoke. She then turns over and like pours 5 teacups and sets the kettle aside, and grabs a couple of like what look to be like loose leaf little tea packets that she has in a wicker bowl nearby, and like plops one into each teacup. And she goes, "Now remember to let it steep for at least 5 minutes to really get the aromatic flavors out of the tea leaves." And she goes back over and goes back to what she was doing. And she takes one entire bucket of that blood that you guys had brought, and she pours it into like an iron kettle. She brings that over and she puts it over the fire and sets it to like boil. She then takes that original mixture that she had made, and she sets that on top of the kettle full of blood, creating like almost like a double boiler type of thing. And as that starts to heat up, she kind of putters about, retrieving a bunch of strange, dirty glassware. That's like there's these series of like bulbs and curved tubular shapes, and she arranges all of this stuff above this this double boiler thing that she has made out of all these ingredients and this naga blood. And once she's done, she sets a like a decanter essentially off adjacent to this whole apparatus that she's made. And then she just goes and sits down in her chair and picks up some knitting and begins to knit. And she says, "Drink your tea before it gets cold." And she points, she says, "That'll be 30 minutes or so on the boil till I can distill out what we need. And then you'll be on your way." She just knits.
Alar will appear to sip his tea.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Death Ward on myself.
Okay.
It's verbal and somatic, so basically just and I'll just take a nice big sip and see what happens.
Okay. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Great. 4.
You took too big a sip and didn't blow on it first. You burn your tongue.
Okay.
It's tea. It's not
It is
tea.
64 points of fire damage.
No, it is tea. You suffer no ill effects from drinking the tea.
As long as I don't, if I'm grievously injured in the next 8 hours, it won't be a problem.
So, I assume what follows this is an extremely uncomfortable 30 minutes, where she like knits and occasionally makes grandmotherly like conversational noises at your guys' direction, and the three of you, including Osrius, who is probably like sitting on the floor and like hunched down to keep his head from like hitting the ceiling in here, just sit there and like are waiting. But you watch as what proceeds with this concoction that she has made is that the boiling cauldron of like blood heats up the interior like bowl containing that mixture that she had made. She occasionally gets up and adds a little more of the naga blood from the other container into this and like will stir it a little bit, and it continuously gives off like vapor, like boiling fumes and vapor, which as time goes on shifts more from the sort of like deepish purplish crimsonish color of more closely to the blood. It eventually starts to turn more like bluish, and then it lightens up, and towards the end it's giving off this like almost like aquamarine steam, which is being collected in this glass apparatus and condensed and travels down these series of complicated tubes eventually into that decanter that she had set, so that by the time this whole process finishes, there is a decanter the size of probably like your two cupped hands, containing several ounces of a very light blue liquid. She gets up. She digs out about a dozen little vials, and she, with a hand shaking so badly that you cannot believe, as she like pours it, somehow she doesn't spill anything. It all goes right into the decanters, even though she's like, okay, here we go, careful now. And she's just like, the shaking of the hands seems to like perfectly work in time with each other as the liquid just right into the vials. She fills 12 vials with this liquid, stoppers 12 vials, and then with a little like heated pot of wax, seals the top of the vials. And then she packs them into a little wicker picnic basket type thing, folds a little cloth over them, and she reaches out and she hands them to you. She says,
Thank you, Granny Josephine.
there you go. Now remember, after you drink it, you've only got 1 hour before the effects wear off. Best not to still be underwater when that happens,
Thank you. Diamondville will tell tales of this day for generations to come.
No. You make an old lady blush. Go on now. Get out of here. You've got those lads to save. Yes, you do. Terrible thing to happen. Group of lads trapped in a mine. Hurry, hurry. Save them now.
Thank you.
Walter's walking borderline like way too fast to be like not suspicious. Just like, come here.
Yep. ALR is also moving quickly. Many thanks.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye.
We'll walk
Bye, old
a
lady.
ways once ALR has been shore for about 20 minutes and that they're out of earshot. Holy fuck.
Was that just a normal old lady? She
You can
could
say yes.
She could have killed us.
Look,
She-
if she was a normal old lady, she's just gonna stay in that hut and be crazy. If she was actually a secret villain, she's gonna go to the snake and get killed. So either way, it's suddenly not our problem. Let's
Oh,
get these people.
suddenly it's not a
Um,
problem.
I think I should be the one to swim the potions to them.
Have at it.
Because I got an octopus. And Scooter
Well-
knows the way.
Give, Scooter.
Walter will take the back seat again, and Aylar will take the point. So go ahead, buddy.
I'll need a few. I'm gonna need a moment to, bind my wounds because, Greg has a nasty bite.
I just imagine Scooter in his echidna form. Yeah, he knows the way.
Yes.
How messed up are you?
Half hit points.
Same.
Okay, well then I'm gonna use.
I mean, I can take a short rest before once we get back to town and before I, make the swim.
For the sake of 5 gold, buy me a health potion because I got that.
Alar, you get 22 points of hit points
Oh!
back.
Okay, then I won't need to
And
take the short rest.
Adrius, you get. Well, you only get 10. Sorry.
Great, that's
I
cool.
cast Cure Wounds at 3rd level twice.
Oh,
I
okay.
rolled better on the first one.
Well, thank you for that.
Just a little bit is better than nothing.
Okay, we head back. And Alar's gonna strip off his coat, his boots, leave most of his weapons except his
Oz, you get
dagger,
an extra 15.
and Plan
Ooh,
C,
thank you.
which
I
he
guess I get a
will
second
bring
one.
with him. And stash the potions in a waterproof pouch,
All
with
right,
the
so
exception of one.
you guys return. Alar begins stripping down to like an old timey striped bather's suit as the sort of the gathered miners. You guys immediately attract like a crowd as you guys come back, bearing the signs that you like went out of town ostensibly to go get help and have now come back like beat to hell. Well, that's not what Brom's fine.
Walter's just moist. Like,
Gross.
Fine.
Yeah, but Walter's always
That has
like-
nothing. Yeah, that has nothing to do with the current situation. That's just sort of a statement about Walter in general.
ugh.
Checks
Well, I
out.
think
So-
I mean after the severe healing that just happened, everybody should be good.
Everybody's
Yeah,
in good
Yeah.
shape.
Yeah.
Fen Garley, the overseer, comes up to you. Somebody appears to have like summoned him. He comes out of one of the temporary tents just nearby. It looked like he had perhaps gone beyond his limit and finally like either decided to or somebody forced him to like take a break for a minute. So he looks like maybe he was like laying down, but probably not for long, as he gets back up and he kind of looks at you through these like heavily bag laden, exhausted eyes, and he says, "You were out the." Give me a sec. What's his face? He says, Henrik and Ruby were by. They said you had gone to the granny. You were going to get something to help you. Were you successful?
Yes. Related note. There is there's a lake over by Granny's place, probably about a mile away. That place is cursed. Never go there.
Somebody from like off behind you, he goes, "I don't know that one. We call it Bad Touch Lake. We don't go there."
Exactly. This guy knows what's up.
That would have been nice to know before.
Well, hold on. Wait a second. Hold on. Walter, you were born and raised in this town, right?
It's true.
That's correct, Walter.
That is correct. Yes.
And you didn't warn us beforehand that is notoriously called Bad Touch Lake?
You know, I didn't realize it was Bad Touch Lake until after old Greg started talking.
They told him it was Good Touch Lake.
No, I didn't know that lake. I thought it was somewhere else. Apologize.
I thought it was somewhere else. How many lakes does this place have? There's a map.
It's a glacial lake. They just form sometimes.
You get it confused with the other lake of mild
Right.
fondling.
Alar's gonna drink one of the potions. He's gonna conjure Scooter into the water by the in that tunnel. Okay.
Yeah, what if Alar
Be
just
back
died right
soon.
now, you guys? just drank that potion and just died.
Yeah, it's just nope, not thinking about that place. Nope.
That is a
nope.
possibility.
Just finishes the potion. Just falls flat, just flat on his face. Oh well, Alar's dead.
At that point, I feel like the line would be like, I think we have to go see a witch. just get
You
up and
distant
like.
cackling.
Alright.
Hey, is anybody gonna go beat up an old lady? Cause we got some business.
I'm about to beat up an old lady who wants to come and see this.
I don't care if she's a hag. I'll throw fists.
Oz over here beating old Granny Josephine with Alar's corpse. She's like, look what you did.
I would totally do that. We can bring him back. He's fine. He won't feel it in the afterlife.
This is Voland. We're all about profit here. You want to beat up an old lady? We'll sell tickets, buddy.
Damn right, we're good. As long as I get in the cut at the door, then we're fine.
Oh, they will be talking about this for
Get your tickets
generations to
in
come.
the
Do you
Austrian
remember when
Granny
that stone
Josephine
giant just
steel
beat the
cage
living
match?
hell out of Granny Josephine with the dead half-elf corpse? Man, that was a Wednesday.
Osiris goes in the hut, close the door. I got you for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
A man in a red set of red coattails and a top hat comes up, and he says, "Oh, nice to meet you. My name is P.T. Zeppelin. I'd like to pitch a business proposal to you for my newfangled big top granny fights. It's gonna be huge."
Let's get ready to rumble.
Your granny comes with the chair.
Alar, you descend into the tunnel, and you begin to swim. Very quickly, you find that you have to navigate via touch, basically, as the water is not clear. It's literally laden with coal dust and particleized rock and just soot and dirt. So you
That's why I brought a guide.
you follow along, and it takes you some time, as you have to go quite slowly, and navigate your way through. Go ahead and you can make me a survival check. You do so at advantage to represent Scooter's assistance.
14 is the better of them.
Okay. So the 14, you get turned around a couple of times. Even though Scooter has done this before, it's impossible to tell where you're going. So you get to a couple of times where you come and you distinctly come to a dead end and you have to turn around. It takes you about 20 minutes to successfully navigate these tunnels. Until you get to a point where, as you're reaching out ahead of you to feel along the wall, you feel your fingers break the surface to air above, and you're able to move up a little bit more, and your head breaks the surface, and you can kind of hear these sort of drip, 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 plink of water. In an open space. It is pitch black.
Oh crap, I should have brought some light with me. Anybody here?
After a moment you hear, "Hello? Hello? Yeah, hello, we're here!
Okay.
Somebody come
Keep
for
talking.
us!"
Yeah, keep talking. I'm heading toward you.
"Right, yeah, just follow. We're all here together. If you just be careful that the ground's uneven. If you're coming from where the water was, we're about 20 feet in front of you, bear slightly to your right."
Okay. Alar will move exceedingly slowly, touching the wall to keep a point of reference.
Okay. eventually you get like to the point as you continue to talk. You get like you get to the point where you're pretty sure you are, like right up with these guys, and you have dark vision, so like you're not completely blind. You can kind of make out the sort of fuzzy grayscale outlines of four figures standing, and a fifth like kind of on the ground, sort of leaned up against like the what you presume to be like the back wall of this space that they're in.
Are these all of you?
This is everyone. How did you get in here?
All right, hold out your hand. And Alar's going to place a potion vial in that person's hand. Pass that to your friend. I'm going to keep passing them until each of you has one. This will allow you to breathe underwater. I have rope. We're going to lash to each other. I'm going to lead you out.
You kind of like the clink of bottle after bottle begins to pass as they sort of pass these around. And I totally lost my notes from last week about which one has the broken leg. But we're going to call it Martin Weller with the broken leg. So as you sort of pass this around, the one who you've been talking to says, like, "Does everybody have one?" And another voice says, "Brandon, what are we going to do about Martin? He's oddly even conscious. There's no way he can swim out under his own power, and even if we can breathe underwater from this, whatever this magic is that this man's given us, I don't know that he's going to survive that trip." And the one who has been speaking to you, that other voice just identified as Brandon, he turns and says, Martin broke his leg pretty bad in the collapse. He says, we haven't had a good look at it, obviously we can't see nothing, but the bone's been exposed, and well, he's had a fever set in the last few days. He drifts in and out, but it's not good. I worry about moving him.
I don't have any healing magic, so best I can do is splint the leg with what I've got, and I'll lash him to me. I'll get him out.
There's a little bit of like kind of discussion between the group of them that involves a little bit of trepidation towards the idea of like drinking a strange vial of liquid that somebody gave to them in the darkness that will apparently allow them to breathe underwater. And concern. It's quickly dispelled. You don't have to really do much. Like Brandon, who kind of seems to be the ringleader here, quickly makes the point that like, what do you want to do? You want to stay in here and be dead? So it's quickly decided that like they'll drink it, and they figure like you got in here, so it's probably fine. A brief bit of discussion about Martin is takes place. They ultimately decide like they'll kind of the whole group sort of will help with him.
Okay. Let's he's if he's got a couple minutes and he's keeping kind of a rough count in his head of how much time he has left before his potion dies.
So yeah, you've probably got still, all said and done, you've probably still got about 30 minutes left on your potion.
He
between
will.
The time it took you to get here and then this.
Yeah. They'll if they can mint up something like a trava or a crappy kind of stretcher-esque thing to strap him to.
What they end up lashing together out of a bunch of like broken pieces of timbers and things that were like mine supports and stuff that were down here. They sort of lash a thing together that will serve as sort of a it's just sort of like a crappy sledge almost, like that
Mhm.
the idea is they're basically just going to like lash him to this,
Mhm.
and then collectively it'll take a couple of people to sort of try and maneuver this, collectively try and like work this thing through the flooded tunnel, which should allow them to sort of like manipulate it and move it up and down and kind of turn it and angle it without like without Martin being like having to be manipulated. It should keep him sort of like straight and
Wait a minute. Oh, I do
jostled.
have a healing potion.
Oh, okay.
So I will, I will carefully pour it down his throat. I don't know how that won't help very much with the
So what, 2d4 plus 4?
2d4 plus 2.
Plus 2. All right. 9 hit points. So actually, you give him this, and he pretty quickly like revives. At least becomes conscious. A brief assessment later, you guys discover that like at least the skin has like sealed over, so he's no longer got like a piece of bone jutting out of his leg. It's still broken as hell, like it's shattered. However, like his fever seems to have like evaporated with the healing magic, as it like kind of helped with whatever is like in his blood. May still come back, but at least it has like got him a lot more like stable temporarily. And at least you don't have to like drag a man with like a literal open exposed like bone showing leg wound through like 600 feet of dirty like filth water.
Oh yeah.
So he's in a lot better position after that healing potion than he was.
Okay.
They still rig him up to like to the sled because he's not really going to be able to move under his own steam. But once all that's done, everybody's ready to basically like they all have their potion.
All right, drink him down, and try and follow after me as best you can. Keep that rope attached.
One of them who hasn't said as much, like as you kind of say this, and as everybody like downs their potion, one of them like you feel reaches out and like kind of gives you a tap on the shoulder, and he says, "Why don't you let me go first? Even blind, I can navigate my way back to the entrance from here."
If you're sure.
He says, "I dug these tunnels. I can find my way out."
All right. Do not lose the line, just in case. If
Everybody,
you do know the way, then we're going to be following right after you.
Everybody secures the line to them. The miners, like, sort of in agreement. The miners are like pretty comfortable that they should be able to navigate their way out. Back to the exit. But everybody lashes themselves to this rope. Including having you in among the group, and you guys set off. And it's exceedingly slow going. The miner's knowledge keeps you from getting lost. You don't have to do any backtracking or sort of re-navigating, but there are 6 of you tied together, one of whom has a shattered leg. Moving through the kind of narrow, partly collapsed in some places tunnels is difficult. And Alar, you are painfully aware as this continues of like the timer ticking on these potions. So 10 minutes pass and you've made a little bit of progress. 20 minutes pass, you've not made as much as you would like. You get to the halfway point and you think maybe you've reached halfway back to the surface, back to to air, and you just press on. As 35, 40, 45 minutes ticks, you start to get like nervous.
Yeah. As I think I'm about to run out, I've taken my second potion.
Okay, so yeah, you do have to down another potion. You think you're gauging that like they have they might be about 15 minutes away from their potions running out, and with you having to take 2 and there being 5 of them, you don't have enough potions for everybody to take a second round. So it's do or die time. Like, you guys have to get out.
Okay.
They're pressing on. You can't really get a sense of, like, you told them they have an hour. You can't get the sense of, like, if they're doing the same mental math of, like, how long have we been going. You get the sense that they are, like, eager. They're trying, like, it's unpleasant, moving through, like, pitch black, unseeable, like, murky water through these cramped, tight tunnels. And eventually, just as you're, like, really beginning to start to have to be like, am I gonna have to decide who doesn't get a potion? You feel the line in front of you, like, tugs, like, at an accelerated pace, as the first miner in line reaches the surface and exits the water and stands up onto dry land. And then, like, reels, and a moment later, your head breaks the surface, and you see that you've reached the unflooded portion of the tunnel again.
Okay, I'm gonna help drag Martin clear, watching his leg as best I can.
All right, you guys pick him up. He looks. He's pale. He's clearly gonna need some recuperation, but you don't think he's in imminent danger of dying. He's not walking out under his own steam. So, if you kind of have him, on one side, one of the other men kind of grabs his other shoulder, and you're able to sort of lift him and keep his leg off the ground and carry him forward. You go no more than, like, 5 feet after you've breached the water, and there's already people, like, coming in. A swarm of people come in, like, blankets are thrown over the freed miners. People begin to, like, whisk them off. A couple of people come over, and, like, Martin is sort of, like, removed from your burden as several people sort of, like, grab him and just collectively carry him bodily up towards the entrance. And before you know it, you step back out into the sunlight of late afternoon, to what looks to be the entire town of Diamond Vale gathered in this area, and the roar of the like cheering that is going up is, like, redoubling and echoing off of the hills and the stone like, terraced landscape of the town. You immediately can see the miners have been sort of brought out, and they're being, like, crowded by people that appear to be, like, family members, wives, children, parents, things like that, are rushing around all of these miners, reunited with them. Martin Weller is carried away. You see the hedge wizard Henrik like untangles himself from the crowd and, like, moves over in that direction, and several individuals trailed by what looks to be Henrik's wife like, part away from the sort of the crowd, and everybody makes way for them as they take him to go be taken care of at the either Henrik's or whatever apothecary or healer they might have besides him in this town. And the rest of you, including Alar, as this is happening, like, you are all but lifted, like, into the air by, like, the crowd. You get the impression that maybe the idea of trying to lift and crowd surf Oz has probably backed people off of making the attempt. but people crowd around you, and like people are like slapping you on the back. People are shaking your hand. People are you get several of you get like these like small they're not coins, but they're these like sort of narrow shims of metal are like pressed into your palms as people like keep giving you these. So you guys all accumulate a little pile of these that you don't know what they are, but people seem to be like trying to give them to you.
I'm gonna glance at Walter,
who's turned invisible.
Who is of course away.
What he would be able to tell you is that these bits of metal are essentially like
their script. Yeah,
their company currency, their company script. So they don't necessarily have like monetary value outside of Diamond Vale, or like within other like Moxham holdings, but here or anywhere that you might interact with like the Moxham Trading and Mercantile Company, you can use this stuff as money essentially. And I think since it is 10:07, I think we will depart for the night with the scene of the town of Diamond Vale rejoicing as their trapped neighbors, husbands, brothers, whatever they might have been to these people were saved. And whether it is apparent from just the reaction of the town and the sort of the level of celebration, which is not ostentatious, but is deeply heartfelt, you can tell, that takes place following, or whether Walter himself is the one to tell you that when incidents like these happen in a place like this, it is an extremely rare occasion that those who get trapped in the mine like this do not inevitably end up in the special graveyard that has been set aside for those in the town who die in mining accidents like this. The fact that these 5 men were returned safely and alive to their families and to the town is a big deal to these people. You get the impression that you have, for probably a long time to come, you have allies here in Diamond Vale. Like, these people will, in whatever way they might be able to, with the limited resources and skill sets that they have, these people will help you if you need it.
Oh yeah.
And that's the end of the story here in Diamond Vale and the end of tonight's session. I think we'll take before we head on out during our next session, we'll certainly get a chance to spend a little time with Walter and Walter's family before we like bang right out of here. But the crisis has been averted, and you are all heroes of Diamond Vale. So
Yay!
Hey,
Look at us!
Thank
we
you,
did it.
Scooter. But it's time for you to say goodbye.
It's time for Scooter to say goodbye. He's to become a weasel again. So that is our episode tonight. Thank you, all of you at home, for joining us. We had a bunch of people.
Thank
Chat
you.
was super active tonight. Every time I looked over, everybody was like,
Great.
was talking in chat. People were clipping. People were
It's always really fun.
throwing proficiency bonuses and inspirations at my players all night. So I really appreciate that. Thank you guys.
Yeah, that made it so much fun.
For
Yes,
hanging
thank
out
you
with us.
very, very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hey, join us next week, same time, same place, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, right here on Proficiency Bonus. It will be the crew of the Fool's Errand next week, the other half of our Del Requisite campaign, over in the Brahms muted, over in the.
I say,
The crew of the what?
The crew of the.
What did I say?
You said the crew of the Fool's Errand.
Oh crap! The crew of the Grimm's Folly.
You get a double episode of the shittiest town in Valand. Yeah.
Yeah, it will be the crew of the Fools. It will be the crew of the Fool's Errand, which is just these 4 idiots in a rowboat on dry land, arguing for 3 hours.
Yes, while Brom is dressed as Napoleon.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the crew of the Grimm's Folly, our pirates. Thank you to Cardboard Castle. Thank you to Little Dragon Corp, our sponsors. Please be sure to check them out. Make sure, if you have not done so, either here on Twitch or on YouTube or on Twitter or on Instagram or on... we don't have a TikTok. I was going to say TikTok, but that would be a waste of time. But look for us. Look for Proficiency Bonus. Follow us. Like, subscribe. Tell a friend if you had fun hanging out and being dumb with us tonight. The best way that we can grow our little channel here and get in front of more eyeballs who can help us make more content is to just to have people who like hanging out and watching with us tell people to check us out. So I will leave you with that tonight. I will leave you with my co-DM, who has come to visit me.
It's the pretty princess.
It's the pretty princess who is literally coating me in shedding fur right now. So
You have been blessed by the celestial doggo.
remember, before we let you go tonight, when you are off doing an errand for a suspicious old lady in the woods, and you come across a weird lake serpent that wants to take you to a club with people wee on each other, maybe just don't. Maybe just reconsider your life choices, but don't forget to add your proficiency bonus. Good night. We will see you next week. Bye, everybody. Ooh, yawn. Say bye, Olive. Woo!